Hey, good evening, everyone. And today I'm gonna present a topic is room and ORM in Kotlin multi-platform application. I know I gotta recorded two recordings previously about the room, but those were incomplete. The first one mostly is only support Android and desktop. And second one is supporting iOS, but actually I didn't try on iOS. So those code, if you ever tried from my GitHub or like shadowing whatever I did in the video, and that may be faulty when you compile an iOS application. So this time I'll give you the complete version, and it's literally working on all the platforms, including desktop, Android, and iOS. So let's start with the dependency. As you can see, as usual, we start from the top level and build Gradle KTS file. And in this, as you can see, there are two dependencies we need to add to this. Is the first one is KSP, is the Kotlin plugin and to translate like annotations into generated code. And second one is room. So let's click into that to see the actual package name. And the KSP is com.android.google.devtools.ksp. And the latest version is 2.1.21 to 2.0.22. And the next one is room, is androidx.room. So note here actually is the prefix is AndroidX, but actually it's for Kotlin multi-platform. So don't be confused. And the latest version is 2.7.1. So let's get back. And another build Gradle KDS file is under the Compose app, or in some templates it's called shared module, right? But doesn't matter. And it starts from the top. As you can see here, we also have the KSP here, plugin, same plugin, and room plugin. Yeah, and one more is a ski. Actually, is this one is use the better interoperative between Swift, Object-C, and Kotlin. So, but it's not necessary. If you don't want to use that, it can leave it. It doesn't matter. No big deal. And then we scroll down. As you can see here, it's a basic setup of iOS. And if you want to access to the GitHub, I'll pin the link in the comments area. And the common man dependencies is a big part. As you can see, what is related to the room dependency right here. It's the implement libs AndroidX room runtime. And if you click into that, you can see the runtime is AndroidX room and room runtime. And also got a room compiler here, room paging. Let's get back. And as you can see, circlite bundled is another one. It's not got the keyword room here, right? But it's also part of the room implementation. So it's don't forget this one. Also the ski annotations, as I mentioned, is a helper, but it's not like commanded, right? And we use Con in this project, but it's also optional. If you want to know how to use Con combined with your room implementation, this will be the best video for you. But if not, it doesn't matter, right? You can leave it. And for the Android dependencies, we got a libs AndroidX room paging because if you ever want to use the pagination function of the room, this is for you. And for the desktop version, we got nothing here, but we got something below. It's very important. Otherwise, it would get a runtime exceptions. Let me show you later. So for iOS main, you gonna need this Oh no, sorry. It says for the API, so it doesn't matter. If for rooms, just leave it. Yeah, and this part is important actually. It's the dependencies for Android for 3 iOS variations, and you're gonna need room compiler, right? I'll just show you the package name here just now. So yeah, and the room scheme directory, right? This one. And also in Android, we got another one. It's called it's no and KSP here. Yeah, okay. Let's keep scrolling down. It's in the Compose desktop. Actually, there is one thing here. As KSP leaves Android X room compiler. This is really important because otherwise, like in the desktop build, it's gonna throw some runtime exception. Because actually, what I did to make this demo is from the Google official demo. But those demo actually, that demo actually only support Android and iOS mobile versions, but no desktop. So the desktop mostly I take literally one day over the weekend and to build this demo. So it's mostly like need to make the desktop build works. Also, last one ski, as you can see here, is optional, right? So above, like is all the dependencies we need, right? After that, you can just in the build and click this one to sync your Gradle project. And if you haven't done that ever, and there wouldn't be a hammer icon here, so you can go to the right side, and right side bar, you get a Gradle, and you can click this one as well. Sync all Gradle projects. And once you click this one, this hammer would be appearing, and you can see the details how the build like goes and some like logs and errors, etc. Yeah, let's read down the dependency part. And next, we go to the code implementation. We firstly go to the common main, Kotlin, and database, and you need to define this database. Yeah, I'll briefly go through here because as I already mentioned in my previous video, and you can also check those details and code implementations on my GitHub. So yeah, and just one thing important, if you're familiar with room, actually the constructor by annotation is a special in the KMP one. It's all the others mostly is the same as the Android version. And also we gotta expect object app database constructor, and can just follow the boilerplate and to build your project. And this is DAO. As you can see here, Fruitai, right? It's actually from the Google demo, so I didn't change the name just for illustration, right? And I wrote 2 more test methods here: get all and clear all. And we go to insert, so you can see in my later on the demo how the UI works to demonstrate the room is actually working in all platforms. And once it's done, go to the DI, and it's app container actually copies this from the Google demo, but actually this isn't useful in my demo, so you can leave it. And this factory is an important one. And I add the API here because I feel anyway like we'll need the API call use OQ, right? So I leave it here. But for room database solely, if you don't have any network call, like you only need this method, create a room database, and you have expect interface and factory here. So it's all the platforms will need to implement this, right? Have the actual modifier for those different platforms. And then the create room database, return a database here. This database will be the database, room database you defined, right? And yeah, this one actually is for the API as well, so I'll leave it here. And in the con dependency injection module, let me see, we got a factory. This is a way we get a factory instance and make the invocation of create room database, right? So you provide app database here, right? So whatever in your data repository or like a view model you want, use the room database, and it's already provided here, so you can use the gate method to get it for your repository, right? So it's simple as it. And one more step is, let me see. Yeah, it's just quickly show you the database, the repository. The data repository here. Yeah, actually this is the wrong place to place the data repository. It should be on the data layer package instead of the database, right? Yeah, but it's a demo, so I'll leave it here. So this database, we got a few methods like get data, right? Load data, refresh, get the test, insert the test, clear all tests. As I mentioned, I'll use these three methods to demonstrate. And that's pretty much done it. And I'll quickly show you maybe the view model is here, and you use the UI state and like flow from the repository, from the room to repository and to view model and then to UI, right? It's gonna reflect whatever the message is here. And we got three methods here. One is insert a record and get a record and clear all records. So later on, when I show you the demo with three buttons, we'll show you how it works. And this down the common main part, right? So let's jump to Android. I'll quickly show you because it's today's focus will be iOS, right? And in the Android application, you can see here you're gonna need to, and in the onCreate of the application, start coin and like inject those things, right? And in the Android platform is some boilerplates, and in the point is factory. So actually it's a newer way to like create your room database. If you ever watch my previous video, so you can see here actually is this one is most simplified, right? And this more is clear, right? So yeah, or I'll recommend you use this method instead of the previous one. Previous one is working, but yeah, this one is better. It's one less call chain, so yeah, simpler. As you can see here is the room, like you define the DB file name, and you create this one with the Android application context, and set driver, set some strategy, code routing, dispatchers, etc., and then build, right? So that's all. Yeah, and you need the factory here because the factory actually whatever is taking the arguments are different, right? In Android, you need to take in the Android application, but on the other platforms, you don't need this. So only this one, the factory provider, is in each platform's module instead of the common module. And one thing I just repeatedly note here is in the manifest, you have to declare the Android application name here. Otherwise, it won't bound to the system lifecycle. Okay, that's Android. Let's get to desktop. Right, desktop is similar. You can see like it's pretty much similar in my previous video. So I won't show you very detailed. So you can either refer to my previous video or go to my GitHub to download the code and read it by yourself. Right, platform module is similar here. As I mentioned, there is no arguments here because there is no application context required on desktop build, right? And once more, start coin, you need to initial the coin injection here. Yeah, let's move to the iOS build. Is focus for today's video, right? As you can see here, we got the factory here, so all similar, but the only difference like in the platform module here, also here, but how we actually we initialize coin in iOS, right? This is a different stage. We got a coin method, coin.kt here, and I get a method here in init coin iOS, right? So in this one, we start coin and define the modules. So those are similar to other modules, but the difference is wrapped by a function, right? And where we use this function, as you can see, let's jump to the iOS app. So you can see here, iOS app is a sibling and folder of the Compose app. Is it's a different of iOS main, right? You can see here is iOS main actually is Kotlin folder, right? It's under compose app and src and iOS main, and you can see here is Kotlin code, right? Another one is iOS app. So actually, if you use your Xcode to open the project, actually, it's this one, iOS app, Xcode project, right? So this is one. And I think it's worth to mention here. And if you ever ask ChatGPT or other AI tools to help you troubleshooting, right? They may tell you you need to install the CocoaPod, and also you need to create some Gradle task called synchronized framework, right? But actually, you don't need that. Don't be confused. Actually, I'll show you later. But actually, I'll just tell you the conclusion is you don't need CocoaPod, or you don't need to create those Gradle tasks. All the built-in tasks in the IDEA IntelliJ will be enough for you. So I'll show you like later on. And you can see here is a content view. Content view, compose view, content view. So it's nothing special here. And in the here iOS app Swift. So it's basically it's comparable to the the desktop version, the main function right here. You can have the main function here. So this video, because I'm an Android developer, firstly, so it's maybe for you if you're an Android developer. So it's give you some context and tech tips and to like get your hands on the iOS build, right? So it's basically the main function of the iOS, and then here you use this init block to do your initialize of the coin, right? As you can see here, actually, you don't need to impose those things, like, but you need to impose compose app, right? So it's con kt. It's actually come from this con.kt in the iOS main Kotlin folder here, right? And if you see here, actually, these two are bind, right? So you know the relationship between these two. And then this, as you can see here, the con, they got a function called init con iOS. But in the iOS app Swift, actually, it's got a different name. You can see here, actually, it got a do before the init con iOS, right? So this do actually renaming is by the plugin called Ski, as I mentioned in the beginning, right? It's a Ski, right? Ski. You can see here the Ski plugin. Actually, it kind of like a helper make you code, especially Swift code, like looks better, right? It's save some boilerplate styling. So if you want more details, you can search on Google or like look on some official documents. But just note here, right? If you are not using Ski, so probably probably this name would be just simply init and con iOS, right? But if you do have the plugin, so you would have this name, right? So yeah, and then this is about the place as well, as I showed before. So mostly this is how you set up your iOS build. And then let me quickly show you the how to create. Because as you know, right, you need to build this iOS main, the Kotlin part first, and then you generate some like lib files, .o or .lib or something, and they'll be in the Xcode, will be linked to the Swift code, right? So you can use those as a module. So you have to build this first in the IDEA, and then you come to the Xcode to build. You build your package to install in your simulator, right? So let me show you how you create your Gradle task to build this. So go to Gradle, and then if you search iOS and simulator, because now you use it for the simulator and debugging, right? So you search simulator. So there are like a bunch of tasks here, right? But which one actually you need, right? It's the most important one. It's the binaries. So you just need this one and apply, and then it would appear in your Gradle task list. You can also have this one, but it's mostly I found later is not useful or directly like impact your Xcode build. So this one, remember this one, iOS simulator 66, 64 binaries. So you build this one, and then those like Kotlin code will be compiled to a library code, right? To a lib, and then you can use it in your Xcode. So then we go to the Xcode. I think if you are not an iOS developer, let me just show you some important tips, right? So maybe you feel confused about this UI, the interface. So even sometimes you build file, you don't know where to find your logs, right? So the three important stuff, right? The first one is a project structure. You can see on the left side is show the project navigator. This here is mostly like whatever we have, like the project here in the idea, right? It's comparable to that. And this is mostly the issue you can see here. But actually, if you, this is a warning sign, right? But if we go here, actually, there is no log, right? So where you can see actually, if you build file, for example, you'll see the detailed reason where you want to go is the last one, right? The last one is like a pad, like a logbook, right? Show the report navigator. So you can see your last time build here. And you can see if your build failed, it would have some like a red cross icon, something like this. It would tell you the reason why it failed, right? And a typical reason, if you download your code from like GitHub, right? Sometimes you get a failed reason is permission denied, right? In that case, actually, what you need to do is you go to your project and execute this command, chmod and +x and Gradle W. So mostly the reason is Gradle W don't have the permission by administrator. So you need to uplift your permission for yourself, right? So you can work out this error. So yeah, and then the last you will see here, once the build successful, it will install on your simulator. Right? I can see here is actually it works. It looks like, yeah. Let me quickly show you how it works. For example, I get a record, I get an orange, right? And I clear all the record, I get none, right? So I insert the record, I can see here is orange again, and you get this is orange, right? And then we try to just kill this application and come back again. You see, get a record orange is here, right? Even you get your app killed, right? So it means like your room implementation actually is working perfectly. So this is on the iOS. And let me quickly show you the desktop version. Yeah, you can see here is the desktop version. So yeah. Get a record, you can see it's none, and insert a record, and get a record, get an orange, right? Clear this, and get it's none again, and insert a record is orange. Then if you exit this application and start it again, you can get a record, you can see the orange again. So yeah, it's basically how the room is working for all the platforms. I don't have my Android Studio set up here in this PC, so I won't show you this, but yeah, I'll tell you this code is working perfectly. So yeah, feel free to download the code and play around with yourself, or use those room or all other technologies in your project, right? Yeah. If you got any questions, please ask in the comments area. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.